Hi everyone, this is the last talk of day one. So I have some exciting graphics demos to show you, but if they don't excite you, hopefully you're going to be excited by the dinner and drinks afterwards anyway. Hi, I'm here to talk about serious graphics on React Native. My name is James Ide. I work on a project called Expo, which is a way to use React Native very easily in building mobile software. I'd first like to introduce you to Nikolash, one of my colleagues. We call him Nicky. Nicky made Expo Graphics. He actually made it in 3 days when he was on vacation, so he's a code wizard. He couldn't make it here today, so I'm giving this talk on behalf of them. He made Expo Graphics, also these slides as well, so thank you, Nicky. So why would you want serious graphics? If you're making video games, you want to do 3D graphical effects, or maybe you have 2D sprites, or a combination of the two. You want special effects. If you have teenagers, like Instagram or Snapchat, you're going to want serious graphics. Any kind of visualization for big data, music visualizers, like equalizers, graphics are awesome. Education, students, or really everyone, loves writing some code and then seeing it actually like in the palm of their hand. So graphics have this great feedback loop, this great feeling when you create something that looks cool. So we built serious graphics on top of React Native into Expo. Just to give you a brief summary, Expo is a way to make mobile software with React Native, and it lets you write your entire project 100% in JavaScript, which is really nice. You also can write native code in a certain other code path, but generally you get to write just JavaScript. So a lot of your web developer skills, they carry over. Expo has a growing set of native APIs, including serious graphics. The Expo Graphics library, again, it's just built into Expo. You get it out of the box, and it's designed for high performance, a lot of flexibility, so you can do things from video games to image filters, and it's compliant with the WebGL specification. It has one native component called GLView. This is just a React component that you can use with JSX. And GLView gives you a WebGL-like API. This is actually really cool because there are all these libraries like 3JS, for instance, with which you can use Expo Graphics. And Expo Graphics is built on top of mobile OpenGL, also known as OpenGL for embedded systems. So most of the things that you can do with OpenGL, you can do with Expo Graphics. Expo Graphics achieves high performance by directly calling native code from the JavaScript side of React Native. So it bypasses the React Native bridge completely and has zero of its overhead. It also affords direct access to typed arrays. This is a somewhat newer JavaScript data structure, and allows us to share data between JavaScript and the native graphics side with zero copying of memory. And this is a bit of an implementation detail, but when you call from Expo Graphics from the JavaScript side into the native side, we very cheaply queue up operations, and this allows us to not block the JavaScript thread of your application while processing the graphics calls, and vice versa. So your app is very performant and takes advantage of multi-core. Expo Graphics, with the full WebGL API, you can do so many things. You can make video games. You can make basically any visualization that you can think of is possible with WebGL. We also have some extra functionality like reading textures from a camera stream, remote images from the internet, and soon video streams as well. And as I alluded to before, libraries that are built on top of WebGL but don't assume too much about the DOM just happen to work with Expo Graphics. So you can use popular 3JS, Regal, which is another more declarative graphics library, and Whitestorm, a game engine. Expo Graphics has just this one GLView component. You use it in your React hierarchy, just how you would use any other component, and it has a prop called onContextCreate. You pass in a callback, and that callback is invoked when the GLView is completely set up on the native side. And you get this GL instance. The GL instance has all the WebGL methods on it. The way Expo Graphics works under the hood, if you have written a React Native module before, this might be interesting to you because it's quite next gen. It's very different from how many other React Native modules are written. GL view creates a React Native native view on the Java or Objective-C side, but then we use JNI on Android and Objective-C++ on iOS to call into a shared C++ library. So with React Native, generally you share JavaScript across both platforms, but with Expo Graphics, we're also sharing C++. And then the C++ layer of Expo Graphics passes back this GL context instance into your JavaScript. And every time you call into a WebGL method using that GL context instance, it just runs that small bit of C++ down there. As you can see, it's just a couple of lines. It's non-blocking, it's very fast and very efficient. So that's a little bit of a rundown about Expo Graphics, but I know that everyone enjoys some visual demos, so let's get on to it. This is a library called GL React. It was actually written originally to run in the web browser, so it assumed WebGL. And because Expo Graphics implements WebGL, GL React is a single library that happens to work in the browser and in React Native. It was made by Gaetan Renaudot, also known as Grayweb. Super cool to see this kind of work from the community. Here's another demo running on an iPad made by Evan Bacon, also known as Bacon Bricks. He's got collision detection, lighting, textures, shadows. This here is Nikolash, who made Expo Graphics. He's demoing a camera stream acting as a texture and applying arbitrary shaders to it to implement filters like Instagram. Again, from Evan Bacon, community member, he made a clone of Crossy Road, which is kind of like Frogger. This is like a real game. You can play this. It feels good. This is something that you could be proud to hand someone, and they would look at it and think it's high quality. And then lastly, I have this demo that shows a camera stream being used as an arbitrary texture on 3D models. So you can do things that are not so serious with serious graphics as well. One thing that's cool about this demo is at the top, it says 3Scene with camera stream. That's just a navigation header using the React navigation library that Eric talked about earlier. It demonstrates how with serious graphics in React Native, we can combine the best parts of React Native, React navigation, with arbitrary graphics in the middle of your view hierarchy. So thank you for listening. If you are interested in graphics, talk to Nikolash. You can find him on Twitter. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed day one of the conference.